LA for Oceanic Flight 815 until... Now, lost on a mysterious island, the survivors have more to fear than survival itself.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You killed us all.
None of it is real!
Namaste, thank you, and good luck.
I think your friends just blew themselves up, brother.
I just saved us all.
I've got to go, and you've got to get as far away from here as possible. Go where? Stop! I'm gonna blow the damn zone.
Who are you people?
We're the good guys, Michael.
You push the button. That's an order.
All we really need to survive is one person who truly loves us.
Miss Whitmore, I think we found it.
This is the Lost Initiative from Sky One.
Hello, I'm Ian Lee, and this is edition 2 of the Lost Initiative from Sky One. Each week we'll be here to analyse the heck out of Season 3 of Lost, and we'll also keep you up to date on the latest Lost theories, online speculation, and developments on the Lost Island. Hey, and you can get involved too. Just email lost@sky1.co.uk. This is the official download radio show for fans of Lost in the UK.
The Lost Initiative with Ian Lee.
It's been a long, slow, painful 54 days since the Series 2 finale, but thankfully Series 3 is finally here. In this edition of the Lost Initiative, we'll be analysing Episode 1, A Tale of Two Cities, and Episode 2, The Glass Ballerina. I'm joined by Paul Terry, the editor of Lost magazine. Hello.
Hello.
And Geeky Tom, the editor of his diary.
Yep.
Okay, Series 3 has started. The first 5 minutes of Episode 1... Discuss, gentlemen, the most amazing bit of TV I've ever seen. Paul, we'll start with you. What did you think?
Well, I love the way that they did this, a similar trick they did with the beginning of Series 2, where, the character we don't even know who they are, and the music, and, the beep. What was the beeping? Was that I thought it was the hatch, first of all, and then it was the oven beeping with the burnt muffins. Beeping. Brilliant little moment there. And the book club. But to be honest, when the earthquakey bit happened, that's when that really got my attention. And then when they went outside, and then, come on, we have to talk about the view of the separation in the air.
We'll do the crash in a second. Tom, I want to get your reaction, though, to the first 4 minutes. Surely it was fantastic.
It was amazing. I was blown away. God, they're all normal. They're all
Finish sentences.
They're in a little village. Look at the village. They're in a village, aren't they? And they're all normal, wearing normal clothes.
Let's describe very briefly what happens. There is a book club taking place. Yeah. Talk us through it, Paul.
They're reading Carrie, which is an interesting book choice with the whole telekinesis type thing. And it's Juliet's choice, and there's a bit of a fracas with one of the...
For anyone new to this, by the way, telekinesis is potentially an ongoing theme. We're still not 100% sure. The prospect of psychic children.
It's a nice theme, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's a bit of fracas, and one guy says, this book's rubbish, and Juliet says, it's my favourite book, and she refers to Ben not being there, and it's cool. We see a pair of legs sticking out from under the house. Someone's fixing something. There's an amazing reveal once the earthquakey bit happens, and they all come outside, and then we see faces of others we've seen.
Ethan Rom,
other man.
Goodwin's there. Goodwin,
yeah. And the lovely
little face pops up.
Goodwin, don't you?
Yeah.
Can I just say, I've never seen Geeky Tom so excited. He's frothing at
I know. What's with Goodwin with you? Is he your mate?
No, I'm just happy about it. It was an incredible episode. Well,
It was. No, listen.
When Ben's there and he's you leg it over there, you run over there.
It's a brilliant moment,
you mentioned that. The fake Henry Gale, who we learn is Ben, reacts incredibly quickly when they see the plane crash. Let's have a little listen to a clip of that.
Goodwin.
See where the tail landed?
Yeah, probably in the water.
You run, you can make that shore in an hour. Ethan, get up there to that fuselage. There may actually be survivors. And you're one of them. A passenger, you're in shock. Come up with an adequate story if they ask. Stay quiet if they don't. Listen, learn, don't get involved. I want lists in 3 days. Go.
we do see the plane crash, and it looks fantastic, doesn't
It's
it?
a great moment, and one thing which the fans are rabid about online at the moment is, what was that behind the plane? Was that plume of black smoke from the engine?
Or was that? It was the black smoke.
You do hear a strange sound, which is like, it's cleverly put in the mix. I like that a lot.
Your
It's a great
theory is
theory.
that it's the black smoke that we've seen in previous series of Lost has gone up and affected the plane.
Yeah.
Well, I watched it with you a few moments ago. That's nonsense. It's obviously the smoke from a plane that's been ripped in half.
No. I'll attribute this to Carl, who's the designer of Lost magazine. He tied it all together. He said that when they imploded the hatch and released the kind of like the pent up, the aggression of the monster, the electromagnetic. Yeah, he said he got really excited. He's like, it's all aggressive. So basically, the monster's unleashed and basically goes up and tears apart the plane, which would make sense because when it was if you can remember the timeline, what we're watching is the pilot. We're watching the pilot episode again from a different viewpoint. So the monster's been unleashed, shattered the plane, and then tears the pilot to pieces.
Carl this series, did he?
In a fit of rage, the monster is released.
Carl's an idiot.
Yeah, he is an idiot.
He's an absolute idiot.
You watch that space, mate.
Is this proof that the crash, I suppose, was not planned?
It looks like it. They were pretty short, weren't they?
It was an accident. Come on, we did say this last season. You can't plan.
Although they all see Ben, I'm still going to call him Henry Gale every now and then. I'm not used to saying Ben, but Ben knows exactly what to do. The others follow his orders immediately, which would kind of imply they've maybe been trained for this, to expect this sort of thing.
Yeah, there wasn't much hesitation, was there, when he said, I want lists in 3 days, and you go there and you go there. It was all a bit
some kind of like contingency plan for
a bit like a fire drill.
Yeah.
You mentioned the camera pans out at the end and we see the village.
Yeah.
What is that?
The creepy thing I think about it is when the elder lady, the more senior lady, knocks at Juliet's house. There's a real domestic vibe about the whole township.
Looks like Ramsay Street.
Yeah, it's a bit Stepford Wives. They all seem to be content. We're baking muffins and reading book clubs. But as you say, the camera pans back and there's miles and miles and miles of nothing, of just forest around.
They're in a crater, I guess.
Yeah, something like that.
Why that's there, we don't know. It could be some, I don't know.
But the island looks even bigger when it cranes back like that. It looks bigger than we'd ever imagined it being, which is just...
Well, you see a kind of a peninsula sticking out.
Good word.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There's a chance they're not on that island. Dare I say that?
Well, I guess when they're on the pier...
Because it looks like, when the camera pans right back, I'll tell you what I saw. It looks like the peninsula looks like it's a different island.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't think so. I think you're wrong.
Well, the fact they're on a pier at the end of Series 2 suggests that, obviously, it's a pier, so when they got all the hoods over them, are they going to be boarding a boat of some kind and going somewhere else? So that's now...
Oh, no, they're just sending Michael and Walt off, aren't they?
But you're wrong. They get the ferry. The Jack, Kate and Sawyer are put on a ferry, aren't they?
Well, we don't see that. But
we don't see it.
But I think that's a good theory. What's wrong with that?
Okay. Jack, Sawyer and Kate, we see them in their new surroundings. Tom, just tell us where they are. What's going on with that?
Jack seems to be in some kind of underground bunker. It's like some kind of animal cage, I suppose. Not really a cage, but kind of like a viewing room. It's got like a big glass panel, hasn't it, that he walks into quite comically. Which
it looks like the kind of place you would see seals in, or something like that.
Some kind of aquatic centre, maybe.
With the chains that may be like holding a dolphin or a shark or something. Dharma shark.
Chains holding a dolphin?
Yeah, the little thing hanging from the ceiling.
Dolphins can't hold on to chains.
Well, it's got a good point. No, it's got the little bit underneath it, hasn't it, which you would put something on.
He's in the Hydra station.
Yeah.
Well, you see a logo. It looks like a Hydra, like the three-headed beast. So that's what they've kind of assumed on the internet, that it's called the Hydra.
The Hydra, of course, as we all know, in Greek mythology, was a many-headed water beast with poisonous breath who guarded the entrance to the underworld. Hydra also, this is interesting, full of facts today, is a tiny freshwater creature with regenerative powers and is biologically immortal.
I like the first one.
Thank you very much.
Wait, biologically immortal?
Don't question it.
No, I like it. It's pretty impressive.
That's the name of my new album. Now, Jackson in that, Paul, Sawyer and Kate are somewhere completely different, aren't they?
Yeah, well, they're having almost like a raw ordeal. They're in cages, which seemed a little harsh.
Yeah.
And they're massive cages. So they can put them both together and have a spare room for somebody else, but they...
Well, there's one cage. Well, let's talk about those a bit more. There's one that looks like there's an orangutan supposed to be in there. When you know the online experience, it's definitely looks
true.
like the one out of the online.
That's very interesting. That's true. And there's a reference to the bears.
Yeah.
When Tom says the bears worked it out in a couple of hours.
Got yourself a fish biscuit.
Yeah. do that line again.
Oh, you got yourself a fish biscuit.
Right, let's hear how it should be done.
Hey, you got yourself a fish biscuit. How'd you do that?
I figured out your complicated gizmos, that's how.
Only took the bears 2 hours.
There we go.
I didn't hear any difference. That was seamless. It was like he was with us.
They've all got little cotton wool bandage things on their arm. Have they been given an injection, a blood sample? Or?
Not all of them.
Don't be vague. Tell me.
Yeah, Sawyer doesn't have one.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Why? So it looks like that Sawyer and Kate are going to get the roar of the deal. I mean, they end up doing really tough manual labour, don't they?
And they are physically fit, characters. So maybe that's part of the reason why they wanted them to come on board and smash up these rocks. But what are they building? There's a lot of them at work. They're building something.
It's just a chain gang thing, isn't it? It's just their punishment for...
Well, no, I think they're doing something important. I think.
Is it the punishment? Why are they being treated differently to Jack? Because Jack seemed... It's odd. I'm surprised they were separated, and it seems like Jack is getting a slightly better deal out of the two deals.
Why isn't he in a cage? Yeah, that's a very interesting point.
Maybe they only have 2 cages.
Okay, well, were in the cages before, because the whole fish biscuit thing, it took the bears 2 hours, which we just heard. Could it have been the polar bears that were in there, or...?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Also, why aren't there animals visible around now? So, was it a long time ago they did the animal experiments in the station?
You can kind of work out how many bears are in there, because judging by the device that's in there, there's like a one to put your paw on there, another one up there, and then one to press the button.
A bear could never work that out.
3 bears? Well, apparently they did it in 2 hours.
Who's Carl?
He's in another cage, isn't he?
He's weird. He's
a really weird character.
I tell you what, I didn't like him. As in, I like the character, but I didn't trust him at all. He had this really freaky look about him.
And he looked like he was crafting something when he was back to.
And he's like, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
I suspect he's one of the others.
I know. I think you're probably right.
I think maybe it's another Henry Gale moment where he's luring Sawyer into that full sense of security and pretending that he let him free and everything. Yeah.
And two very quick things. Jack hears his dead dad's voice on a broken intercom.
Brilliant. Yeah.
But all
apparently
that
hasn't worked for years.
An hallucination for being really dehydrated, though.
Possibly. But Alex pops up in episode 2, doesn't she? I don't like her.
Give her a chance.
I want to know why she's sort of almost like, wandering around, and there seems to be some separation between her and the others that we're getting to know, which I'm interested in that. What is that about?
Well, listen, we have a caller. I believe we've got Barry Rim on the line. Hello, Barry.
Hello, Ian.
Barry, how's it going?
It's not going too bad.
Look, you've got some views on where the others live, have you?
Yeah, I've watched the episode, and what I was thinking was Russo. I mean, she's been on the island like 16 years, and she's never stumbled across this at all, or even some sort of semblance of building work, which would appear that looks like what Kate and Sawyer are doing. Maybe some sort of building.
What do we think they are doing? Are they actually building something, or is it just some meaningless task to break them?
Provisionally, I did think that they were doing some sort of building work, but then I was also thinking that maybe the others are giving them the sort of life they'd have if they weren't on the island. Like Jack may end up doing something medical, and Kate and Sawyer are sort of being punished in an old convict style.
There was an element of a chain gang kind of vibe about the thing.
Yeah.
Barry, do you think they're being punished for all their past crimes? Kate blew up her dad in the house and Sawyer's a con man.
I think so, yeah.
Interesting.
Barry, I believe you have some facts for us as well that we may not have spotted.
Yeah, some really strange stuff. In when they do the previously on Lost flashback, the dialogue was changed from the finale of season 2 to the beginning of season 3.
Oh, really?
I think that was maybe to hide the Otherville type of place.
Well, so hang on, what was it originally and what did it become?
Well, originally, it's something like, we're going to take you home, and then the new dialogue was, we're taking you home. So there was no sort of... It may have been hidden. That might have been a surprise that they give away incorrectly.
One second. Is Barry Rim insane? Is that true?
I didn't get the difference.
It sounds overdone.
I didn't get what the difference was. Taking you home or taking... What was the difference again?
He sort of said, we're going to take you home to we're just taking home. It just changed ever so slightly.
You said the same words.
Taking you home or just taking home?
He sort of changed. I can't remember it exactly, but
I've got to dig out the DVDs tonight.
Yeah, you make us rewatch it now. That's an interesting point.
Barry, anything else before we say goodbye?
The only other thing that I did pick up is the song that they're playing in Jack's flashback in the car is Moonlight Serenade, and during the episode of The Long Con, the Sawyer flashback one, it's the song that Saeed and Hurley picked up on the beach on the internet. Maybe there's some sort of time dispersal.
He's good, this guy.
That's good. I mean, it's a good thematic link, but if there's more to that, then that's wicked. Nicely spotted, Barry.
Hey, Barry, listen, thank you very much for that.
Hey, no problem, Ian.
Good stuff, take care.
All right, bye now.
Bye-bye. Now, if he was good, wasn't he?
Like that, yeah.
If you want to speak to us on the Lost Line, then send us an email. I'm not going to give out the phone number because it's my home phone number. I don't want you guys phoning me up all the time. But send us an email with what you want to talk about to lost@sky1.co.uk. Put your phone number on there, and we could be speaking to you. He was excellent. Now, the others. Obviously, we're seeing a lot more of the others that were in their home environment. Are they connected to Dharma? I'd always assumed that they were, but it's looking less and less likely, isn't it?
Well, there's that great line from Juliet, isn't there, talking about it doesn't matter what we were, it matters what we are now sort of situation. So she's referring to almost like the Dharma being a past event, and it's almost like there's a band of people that have come in and taken over their notions or replaced their notions of what they want to do.
Let's have a little listen to it. We've got that clip.
Oh, we got that clip. Fantastic.
Let's have a little listen to that.
Cool.
Is this one of their stations, the Dharma Initiative?
They called it the Hydra.
So you people are just whatever's left over of them.
Well, that was a long time ago. It doesn't matter who we were. It only matters who we are.
Okay, so what it is this one of their stations, the Dharma Initiative? They called it the Hydra. So you people are just whatever's left over of them. Well, that was a long time ago. It doesn't matter who we were. It only matters who we are.
Right.
They called it the Hydra. It doesn't matter who we were. So, it's so confusing. My head is going to explode.
Well, at the very least, it's Juliet pulling herself away from it, I think. She's not tying herself to the...
Doesn't Ben say that he was born on the island and he's lived there?
No. He said, I've lived here all my life. He didn't say he was born on the island, though, which is an important distinction.
From that, I'd say that he was born.
He's right. It isn't specific, though,
No.
is it? No. How old do we think Ben is?
Late 40s?
46.
Well, don't laugh at me, you fools, because if we know how old he is, we know how long he's been on the island, and we can get some kind of timeline, can't we?
Well,
yes.
Judging by the map, I'd say 30 years old.
Judging by the map?
The map?
Incident happened in 1970.
Oh, this is the map that we see in Series 2. It's on the blast doors, right? Which you've brought with you. Do you carry this around with you everywhere you go?
It's essential equipment for my job.
You know he just sits on the train and just studies it and just starts rubbing his leg.
Mobile, Oyster card, blast door.
Okay, so the incident was what, 30-odd years ago?
Yeah, so I'm going to say that maybe that he was born kind of around the incident time. And
he's about 50.
How do you know that, though?
Because he looks about 50.
Well,
I'd say
mid-40s, I reckon.
48.
Nah, 44.
I hope he's not listening to this. I really do.
Paul Michael Emerson.
Yeah, he's a very nice chap. I met him. Anyway, yes, I won't get tired of saying that. I'll tell you how you can see that interview as well a little bit later on. So, any idea when Dharma arrived on the island?
Well, it could be.
There's no real clue, is there?
No, and I think this is a long-standing project.
Okay.
I don't think it's like a from the 70s onwards project. I think it's a long thing.
Now, one of the interesting things is we have further proof. We had proof at the end of Series 2, potentially, that the outside world exists. We have more proof now because Ben's knowledge of Bush. Nice little mention of Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, that was cool.
Well, no, I like that, yeah.
I'm quite excited. Yeah. And the video of the Red Sox winning the World Series. That's baseball.
Well, it's equivalent of, like, say, Manchester City winning the Premiership, beating Man United, 7-0 in the final.
And it's important to Matt Fox's character to reference that.
Because it's something that is actually quite handy because he probably would have believed that in real life.
But so they have contact with the outside world, obviously, but how? They can't just have a telly that's picking them up,
this is huge. This is like this is Henry Gow effectively admitting that, we do. And as Jack probably wonders, why don't they go home? Why are they?
Well, it sounds
he's lived there his whole life.
Ben's home is the island.
That's his home.
America would be as alien to him as the island is to Jack.
But do we think that everybody who's with him has all been born on the island and that whole group?
Or maybe chosen to live there.
Well, listen, Juliet has some more revelations, this time regarding Jack.
I want to know that you're a spinal surgeon based out of St. Sebastian's Hospital in Los Angeles. I know that you went to Columbia and you graduated med school a year faster than anyone else. I know that you were married only once and that you contested the divorce. I know your father died in Sydney. I know this because I have a copy of his autopsy report.
How did you get?
We got it.
What is that?
This, Jack, is your life.
That's a lot of information. The historical stuff about his training at med school and the divorce, you can kind of understand, but the autopsy report from his dad, that's, 65, 66 days ago.
Yeah, I think that, although we're talking about whether the plane crash was an accident or not, I think the fact that you can't garner that much information in that short space of time with any kind of context, I think that there are two arguments. It's either that from getting the list of the people, they managed to, through their contacts in the kind of Planet Truman project, got everyone's details, or they've always had them. Maybe they've always had the details.
Go on, Tom.
Well, you can bluff that kind of thing, couldn't you? Maybe the autopsy report was with Jack's dad on the plane when it crashed. So
Possibly.
she could have got her dirty little fingers on that.
I don't trust her one little bit.
She's
you think she's doing that cool, that psychic thing where you're just pretending that you know something
Yeah,
just to sort of break
like
someone?
rustling
It's interesting.
all- rustling all her papers
Can
like
I say, I trust Ben more than I trust her.
Controversial.
I really do.
Well, the end of that episode, when she comes out and says, like, thank you, Ben, and it's like, yeah, I must admit, there's a bit of a chill down your spine when he says, nice work, Juliet.
I suspect that she is more powerful than she's letting on in terms of the island, and I think she's more manipulative, more evil than Ben.
She doesn't sit in a little perv hole with all the screens watching everything that's going on Ben does.
Sit in a little what, sorry?
Perv hole.
A perv hole. Okay, right. I think that's a technical
She
term.
looks a little bit like Jack's wife, doesn't she?
Yes, a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Now, Ben tells Jack that if he does what he's told, he'll take him home. I believe that. I believe Ben will do that.
He did it to Michael, didn't he? Sent him home.
Did he,
Well,
though?
Yeah, did
come
he?
on. That little tugboat
Yeah, that can
out on the ocean.
I'm worried we're not going to see Michael this series, and he's one of my favourites. I'm worried that'll be it until like episode 23 of series 3 or something. He'll pop up.
I'm not that bothered, to be honest. As long as Echo's still in there, I'm not.
I think Walt's
care too much.
we need to know about Walt, don't we?
We certainly do.
What happened to him?
Okay, listen, we'll talk more about episodes 1 and 2 in a moment. Okay, we've got another caller on the lost line. It's Joe. Hello, Joe.
Hello, it's Joe.
How are you doing? You're right.
I'm excellent, yes.
Now, what are your views? First of all, are you enjoying Series 3?
It's excellent. It's probably better than Season 2 so far.
I think you could be right. Now, what are your views on Ben and Juliet? I was just saying that I actually trust Ben more than I trust Juliet.
Yeah, I do as well. There's something not right about Juliet. She's a bit creepy, isn't she?
She is a little bit creepy.
She's a bit too nice, isn't she?
I didn't like the way she said, "You've got to eat something. You've got to eat." I hated that.
I made this myself.
Yeah.
So, what are your views on them, Joe?
Well, I loved Henry Gale last series, and now that he's Ben, I think he's even better. I loved it when he was having breakfast with Kate, and he says, "Put the handcuffs on, and you'll get coffee." I thought that was a brilliant line.
I believe they had Dharma ketchup as well at the breakfast table. Is that right?
Yeah, it's Dharma the lot.
Yeah. But now we're having a little argument here, Joe, about how old Ben is. I think he's 50.
Early 40s.
Early 40s?
There you go.
God, I've not got far to go. Anything else about Ben and Juliet?
I think there might be a past relationship there.
I assumed that they were husband and wife.
Never assume.
I didn't get that.
Okay, but you think that...
I thought there was possibly a relationship that had been there, and maybe it's broken down now. She was crying at the start of the first episode, wasn't she?
Yeah.
In the flashback.
Now, we've not mentioned it yet, but what are your views on Sun's flashback?
Oh, I'm not pleased with Sun.
Oh, go on.
Well, she's cheated on Jin, which is number one bad.
Yeah, but no, but hang on, Jim was a very violent, nasty fisherman.
Because for her...
okay.
She's gone and cheated on him, and then inevitably she's got JLE killed. And you saw when she was a child, she's just not a nice person, is she?
Well, you're talking about, okay, there's a few things there. You're talking about the glass ballerina that gets broken and she blames a maid for it. So you're thinking that that's an indication that actually she's quite a ruthless, nasty piece of work?
I think that's what was implied by the writers, yeah.
Now, did she get JLE killed, or did he kill himself, or was he killed by someone else?
Damon Lindelof said he definitely jumped, and that he wished he'd made it more clear. He wasn't killed.
Okay, well,
it's an honour thing, isn't it? Yeah. But I mean, you're saying Sun's a nasty piece of work.
Yeah, she's a dirty little liar, I guess.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But it's all about fathers, isn't it? I mean, her father's ruthless, and he was the same when she was a child.
But she's
20, 30 years on.
She's
So
full of lies.
I think she's had a harsh time, our son.
Joe?
She is now my least favourite character.
Right, Joe. On the strength
Joe.
of that, I'm cutting you off.
Yes.
Goodbye, Joe.
Bye.
Good, he's gone. Unbelievable. No, I will not have Sun dissed
I think
like
a
that.
step too far into the hating.
I'm agreeing with him.
Yeah.
I'm not lying's bad.
so deserves death.
Okay, so we mentioned Sun's flashback there, which is episode 2, The Glass Ballerina. Also see Saeed and Jim. We see what's happening on the boat, which is very exciting. Quick recap for us, Paul, if you can.
Well, we know that from the end of season 2 that they went around the island to try and do the ambush thing, and basically, Saeed, he's got a plan. He's got a plan to try and...
It's a rubbish plan.
Well, he makes it seem like he's trying to signal for Jack, but it turns out all he wants to do is light the fire, lure the others to them, and then basically take them all out.
Keep 2 alive, so he can torture them. He just loves torturing, doesn't he?
Really silly when he said... Well, as soon as he said, son, you go and wait on the boat, you kind of know what's going to happen, don't you? You know that there's going to be trouble on the boat.
Well, I think it's interesting that Sun doesn't have a problem with it, which maybe it's this whole thing that she's got a lot more size to a character than not. You know, she's fine with it.
Now it turns out Jin can understand English.
Well, we always knew that, didn't we?
Yeah, but it's still... I've got to buy it because that's obviously going to,
No, I think it wasn't just more he was understanding what they were getting from the emotions they were talking about.
No, she said he understands what you're saying.
Yeah, but I don't think she literally means every word he's just said.
I'm willing to bet that he probably
I don't think he can speak perfect English. I think that's
now,
too far.
when the others find out about Desmond's boat, I don't know.
Yes.
They want it, don't they?
They do want
He's
it.
angry.
Yeah.
How did they not know about it?
Well, they've had this little plan. It was like, right, he's found the village, and that's all cool. We wanted that to happen.
Yeah.
But they've got a boat, and he's like, what?
Yeah, they're not taking into account all the possibilities of what's going on,
So
which I like.
it is exciting. It looks like the others are not in control of these things as much as they would have us believe.
For some reason, having a boat, they can find them if they have a boat for some reason. She goes, they could find us.
Then there is the scene, as we just mentioned, on the boat, which is brilliant, with Colleen?
Colleen, yeah.
Colleen, and she knows Sun's full name, and says she knows her and knows she's not a killer. You know what I mean? You're not a killer. You've never killed anyone. A really exciting scene. Tom, you rose in your seat there as if you were...
a mistake saying that. You're definitely not a killer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bang. Have some of that, love.
Have some of that. How about
so
that?
it means that, Sun, I would say, is kind of potentially on the edge of the people on the island. She's not a Jack or a Kate or a Sawyer or a Locke that the others obviously know a lot about, but they still know everything about Sun, which would imply they know everything about everyone.
Well, this is it. Colleen potentially knows everything that Ben does, and they all know everything about every single person we've encountered so far.
Stop, just stop you there. You say they know everything. they know her full name. That's about it.
They know she's not a killer.
I could say, oh yeah, Ian Lee. I know you're not a killer. Oh my God, Tom knows everything about Ian Lee.
No,
Quick.
I think there was an insinuation when Colleen says that, when she's saying her full name, to say, Lovey, I know more about you than you think I do, so let's have a chat. She's putting something out there to be discussed, and then bang. And Danny Pickett's misses though, so that's
they're jumping off the boat, and it's a tiny boat, and he misses, and he doesn't shoot her. And you just fire in the water, you're going to hit her.
You just go, man. But I think that's going to have some consequence there. Surely, Pickett's scary. He's a mental.
Jack's flashback. Tom, do you want to talk us through that?
He is trying to discover who his wife is sleeping with.
Is it his dad?
No, not.
We don't know, do we?
It's never actually said that it isn't. The implication is they've been leaning on each other. He's been leaning on her to help with his alcoholism. She's been leaning on him to get...
But the guy who picks up at the end, that's a bit of a stretch. I think the guy who picks up at the end is the guy that she's in love with, because he sort of looks a bit
of a hug, bit of a
turns
kiss.
around to Jack, gives him a scornful look, puts her in the car.
Bitch.
I
think she's heartless.
Jack's dad could have probably solved a lot of problems just by going, Jack, I'm not sleeping with your wife. Well, problem solved.
It's a great scene, isn't it? When I'm assuming it's an AA meeting, some kind of alcoholics meeting, and he bursts in and kicks.
Oh, it's amazing.
So your dad's been clean now for 20 days or something like that, and he just kicks off. So what?
But it is so tragic that then it pushes his dad over the edge again.
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Your dad phoned me, Jack, and he's hit the bottle again." Nice one. So.
Do you want a little bit of trivia?
Yes, please.
You want some trivia, Tom?
Hit me.
Do you know what the trivia is going to be that I'm going to say?
No.
Okay, well, this will blow your minds, ladies and gentlemen. The nurse in the operating theatre with Jack.
Yeah, no, I didn't know this, but...
Well, you didn't say it.
Well,
Go on then, finish it.
No, I'll let you finish it now.
The nurse in the operating theatre with Jack, when he's distracted by his dad talking and laughing on the phone, is the same nurse that looked after Locke when he donated his kidney. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.
Well done.
Nice.
Well done. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got another caller on the lost line. Is that Lorcan?
It is indeed. How are you doing, Ian? How's it going?
Lorcan, you're on a decent phone line. How are you, sir? You're right.
Yeah, not too bad.
What have you got for us today?
Well, there's a bit where Jack and Juliet say that she says she's a repo woman.
Yeah, it's the first episode.
Repo man.
Yeah.
In the film,
Repo Man, the Alex Cox, the cult 80s Alex Cox film.
Yes.
All the food and drink that appears in Repo Man throughout the movie has generic white containers with things like with beer, drink, dry gin, food. It just has similar to the Dharma thing, so I thought maybe that was a reference.
Oh, Paul's so impressed with that. I think that's a great one to pick up on.
Well, no, it's nice, but is it related to the mystery of the show, or is it just a nice touch?
Ignore him, Lorcan. I was impressed by that. I nearly gave you a round of applause. Carry on.
Well, I think a lot of this is one of the things that struck me about this episode in the season 3. It seems to be a lot of them just having fun with stuff, because it seems to go off on a bit of a tangent where they can just play around with these things. The things that I felt they had a lot of kind of reference to were things like The Prisoner, with the sort of very generic suburban village at the start of episode 1. Yes. Very like at the beginning of The Prisoner, the fact that they were drugged to be taken there.
Anything else before we cut you off and then take the mickey out of you?
The Stephen King reference as well.
Carrie.
The book.
Because the book they're reading at the start is Stephen King's Carrie.
Look, we're running out of time.
Yeah.
So I shall say goodbye to you.
Okay.
And we'll speak to you soon.
Okay.
Good lad. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow. That guy needs to get a job. Okay, there we go. Hey, if you would like to call into the show, or you'd just like to share your theories and reactions with us, you can email us by sending an email to lost@sky1.co.uk. Okay, very quickly, in one sentence, Paul, can you recap episode 1 for us?
Okay, the Hydra Station, from the others, Kate, Jack and Sawyer are being captive there, but why?
And Tom, episode 2, one sentence?
Son's a dirty liar and a violent killer. And
self-defense.
Sawyer and Kate have a little kiss.
We need to have a word about your attitude.
Okay.
If you want to keep coming here. Anyway, listen, thank you, Geeky Tom, and thank you, Paul. Excellent stuff. Always good to see you. So, there we go, fellow Losties. That's all we have time for on edition 2 of the Lost Initiative. Episode 3 of Lost is Sunday at 10 p.m. on Sky 1, with a repeat performance the following Wednesday at 10 p.m, also on Sky 1, and another fail-safe repeat every Friday at 9 p.m. on Sky 2. So, we'll be back to delve into the insights and mysteries of Episode 3 right after it's been on the telly. In the meantime, check out the brand new website where you can see exclusive cast interviews and news, character descriptions and updates, just so you can familiarise yourself with some of the people you may not be aware of. Lost Show discussion forum there as well, where you can post your theories and kind of chat to other people. Fights tend to take place on these forums as well. It all gets a bit heated. And you can see the video of when I met the cast, including the beautiful Sun. I'm still waiting for her to get back, and
could be waiting for a while.
Could be waiting a long time. If you want to check all that stuff out, then go to sky1.co.uk/lost. I'm Iain Lee. Join us again for the next edition of the Lost Initiative, the official download radio show for fans of Lost in the UK. Namaste.
The Lost Initiative is a co-ink production for Sky One.